What's up, guys? This is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and we are back with another Michigan recruiting report. We're going to be breaking down 5 big targets I saw on the road. Before we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, get notifications every time we drop new videos, which is often. Michigan is getting commitments at a rapid pace, so don't miss out. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. And also, if you want the inside scoop on everything Michigan recruiting, make sure to sign up at thewolverine.com today. Use that promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at thewolverine.com. Get exclusive insider information on everything recruiting, the team, basketball, transfer portal, and so much more. Plus, you get to be part of a message board community with thousands and thousands of users. All right, guys. So like I said, we're going to be breaking down 5 key recruits I saw on the road this weekend. Let's go ahead and start off with 5-star wide receiver Calvin Russell out of Miami Northwestern. This was my first time seeing Russell live at the OT7 event. And first thing that sticks out about him is just his size. I mean, he's a massive, massive target at 6'5.5", 190 pounds, has arguably the highest ceiling out of any wide receiver this cycle, doubles as an elite basketball recruit. And, I think that's where Michigan has really kind of hit home with Calvin Russell. He's a guy who really wants to play both sports at the next level. And some schools have kind of diminished that a little bit. And Calvin Russell has told those schools to go kick rocks. Michigan is not. They're giving them the opportunity to play both. When he was on his official visit, he took photos in both a Michigan football uniform and a basketball uniform. Michigan basketball coach Dusty May has been recruiting him since he was a 9th grader, and Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic. They did a great job. The basketball staff did on his official visit, and the football staff has made him a top priority. They are willing to go all in on the NIL front. On top of that, he's quickly built up great relationships with Sharon Moore and Ron Bellamy, and he sees the need for wide receiver in this offense. He knows he can come in and potentially start as a true freshman. His player host on his official visit was Bryce Underwood. Bryce was heavily involved throughout the weekend. The opportunity to come in and play with the former #1 overall recruit is certainly appealing to Russell. So Michigan checks a lot of boxes going into his July 5th decision. Now, with that said, I know he released an unofficial top 3, but the school that still concerns me the most is Syracuse. They were not in that unofficial top 3, but I have reason to believe they are still very, very much a threat in this recruitment. And normally, Syracuse, but I think that Syracuse has done a great job of selling him on both football and basketball. Even though they're not an NIL school by any means, they are willing to invest a lot into this recruitment. So that's the school that's giving me pause. Florida State's making a late run here as well, pushing super hard. So, we'll see how this one goes when he makes his decision. But Michigan remains in a strong spot here, just a really tough one to read. He's not the only wide receiver target I saw. I also had a chance to see on 300 wide receiver Travis Johnson, who will be making his decision a day before Russell on July the 4th, noon Eastern time. I will be there to support Travis, and we will be streaming his commitment live here on the Wolverine.com YouTube channel. Another reason to like the video and subscribe. But yeah, Travis did Travis Johnson things. When you look at Travis and you look at Calvin Russell, I said Russell has the biggest upside, but Travis Johnson's the better wide receiver right now. Pure wide receiver, route running. I mean, it's Travis Johnson, natural pass catcher, so smooth in and out of breaks, runs routes like a small guy. I say that like every time I talk about Travis Johnson because it's so true, man. The way he just sinks his hips and gets in and out of breaks, so smooth. He can also be that bigger body target. He's also a high-end athlete like Calvin Russell. He's a star basketball player for his high school team as well. I think Michigan is still the team to beat going into his decision. I have a prediction in for the Wolverines. Right now, I have no reason to move it. So, you still have schools like Penn State and South Carolina and North Carolina trying to convince him to do otherwise, but I still like Michigan in this recruitment. All right, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball and talk about 4-star linebacker Anthony Davis out of Georgia. I feel like Anthony Davis is kind of the forgotten man on the linebacker board. Like there's so much attention on Nick Abrams and Braden Rouse, but Anthony Davis is still realistic, man. I'm telling you guys right now. He told me Michigan is in his top 3. He's not making a decision to August, so that gives Brian G. Mary and company quite a while to really push for his services. The SEC schools have been considered the favorites in this recruitment. If there's one out-of-region school that can pull him out of the Peach State, it is Michigan. He's a very athletic linebacker. He's listed at 6'1", 205. He looked comfortable out in coverage in 7-on-7. Kind of a leaner frame, needs to add some weight, but I think he's a guy with a lot of potential as well. His rankings are kind of all over the place. I would love to see him in pads, but in the 7-on-7 setting, I thought he looked really, really good. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on, and probably a guy we should be talking about a little bit more. All right, let's stick here on the defensive side of the ball and talk about Michigan cornerback commit Brody Jennings. Will he stick? Will he flip? Right now, I'm still leaning more towards Brody Jennings not ending up in the class. The in-state schools, specifically Florida and Miami, have been making a big push. If any school flips Jennings, I think it'll be Miami. He's been committed to Michigan since last summer, almost an entire year now, but he's visited other schools. He made several official visits this summer. I think it's going to be tough to keep Brody, but Michigan certainly wants him in the class. They hosted him for Victor's weekend. He has good length, a really good cover corner. I think Brody checks a lot of boxes. It would be great to keep him in the class, especially since, a guy like Devon Benjamin's not guaranteed. I think Brody's a good complement with Andre Clark, but will be tough to fend off those in-state schools. All right, the last recruit we will talk about is also in the secondary, and that is top 100 athlete Cissi Moa out of Utah. And Cissi, dynamic two-way player, also has a bunch of offers as a wide receiver. Michigan really likes him as a nickel. With Donovan Webb now trending to Texas Tech, Cissi Moa is the clear #1 guy at the nickel spot. Dorian Barney can certainly fill that role as well, but Cissi is a blue chip elite talent, top 50 recruit overall on On3. Out of all the guys I saw this weekend, I would say Cissi was probably the most impressive. And he's just, again, super versatile, really elite athlete. Really likes what Michigan has to offer, sees himself as a fit in the defensive scheme. But I think Michigan just hasn't talked a ton to him about playing wide receiver. And I think his preference is to play wide receiver. And that's why schools like Utah and Washington probably have a little bit more of an advantage. So if Michigan wants to land Cissi Moa, I think they have to talk to him a little bit more about potentially playing some wide receiver too. So for more Michigan recruiting intel, make sure to head over to thewolverine.com. Use that promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at thewolverine.com. Get exclusive insider recruiting information and intel as some big commitments are expected this week. Remember, Travis Johnson, July 4th, John Turntine, July 4th. Calvin Russell, July 5th. Make sure to head over to thewolverine.com for the inside scoop. Also, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, get notifications every time we drop new videos, and we will see you guys next week.